Right, we are the Hebrew Israelites coming week in, week out to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great. That's America, EU, the beast, or anywhere the white man is. He's the new modern day Egyptian, Babylonian, Syrian, and all the reprobate nations what are ruling over the one they call the Israelites, the blacks, Hispanics, and Indians. Say all praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Double honours to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. And salutation to the Akim on the highways and hedges, pushing this truth in sincerity. Because that's what we're commissioned to do. And we're in a time now where things are accelerating. And China's cut off America now, that means England's going to be cut off as well. Because what do they say? England and America stand shoulder to shoulder. So that way they're in cahoots. They're the two nations, the so-called the stout American, because he's more stout than his neighbour, and the Britons. They're the ones you see closest together. Yeah? Because why? Because America came out of Britain. Understand? So we're going to need stability in these last times. You got that Isaiah 33 and 6? Get that? Because the Bible talks about it.
Book of Isaiah chapter 33 verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and the strength of salvation.
Right.
Fear of Yahweh is his strength.
Right, so it says wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of our times. Because we're going to need to be stable in the times what's coming.
Technically, it don't really matter what if you're fit, it will help a little, but if you're out of shape, that's not really going to be the basis of your salvation. You know, your mindset, you know what I'm saying? Because that wisdom and knowledge, that's not going to be in your arms and legs. That's going to be in the Most High dealing with your pioneering and giving you that spiritual essence. Right. That guidance. That's why it says, believe not in a brother and follow not a brother, believe not in a friend or whatever, and in a guide, sorry.
And then try a man. Yeah. You know what I mean? To see if he's of the spirit.
Yeah.
Right? So basically, we're in that time now where we've got to weigh the situation. Because we're heading, get Isaiah 9 and 5. Because we're heading into a time now where, as you can see, Mrs. Nancy the Witch Pelosi flew over to Taiwan. And Taiwan is connected to China. It's a part of China's, what do they call that again? They're basically the Chinese and Taiwanese, they are the same people. It's a part of China's jurisdiction. And America's trying to sever them. Why? Because the microchips. Taiwan makes the best microchips in the world. And they need the microchips. Whoever gets their microchips, control of them, are going to rule the world. Because we're in a time now with artificial intelligence, with robots, and you need all this. You need chips to run these things. That's why they're ratcheting up. America's ratcheting up South China Sea to try and get those chips. But China now has a military might what America can't sort of deal with. Even General Milley, their top general, said that they're not prepared to go toe-to-toe with China and Russia at the moment. Because a woman asked them, Biden said that if Taiwan asked them to help them out, if China invades, they said, Joe Biden said yes. And they asked the general and he couldn't answer that question. He said, I couldn't tell you that because that would be giving away secrets. If your president can say yes, who are you? The president is the top man. So because he knows that it's full of transgenders and all this in the army. The Chinese army is very strong. Yeah, their army is strong. Their will is strong. Yeah, Americans is fragmented because you've got transgenders in there. You've got all different nations mixed in that cauldron in their army. But we're heading towards that day where read that Isaiah 9 and 5. Step forward.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 9 verse 5.
Right, this is Isaiah 9 and 5. Let's see what the Lord said.
For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood.
Right, so that's what, when you talk about every battle, let's talk about ancient battles, because this was written, now, how long, 2,000 odd years ago? They didn't have helicopters and all that there, so it says every battle, read that with confused noise and...
It says here, Isaiah chapter 9 verse 5.
Right.
For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise.
Right, with confused noise.
And with garments rolled in blood.
Right, because that was it. It was more intimate. Right. Men used to fight with swords and spears until the white man developed his military where he dropped bombs on people. Where he wasn't into it. He wanted to be more at a distance because he's not really.
He's not valiant, no.
Yeah, he's not valiant. That's the right word.
Man.
Yeah, he's not valiant. He's very cowardice. He's very subtle. Like now, the Americans, they want to go and kill people, then go home and kiss their wife and their children. No other nation thinks like that. When they're at war, there's a chance of them what's going to die.
Yeah, they consider it's like even the House said a man that considered to build the tower before he started the build, isn't it? Are you able to continue, endure? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you do in the battlefield. That's why it says there's a law that if you got your wife or whatever, you stay back. You don't, you keep from the
scared.
Yeah, you keep that spirit.
You're going to bring that spirit with you. Yeah. Remember, if you watch the 300, that's when Ephialtes come and Leonardo said, lift your sword, Ephialtes, lift your spear. No, your shield. And he couldn't lift it above. He says, you're a weak link. You understand? Because remember, when you're fighting, you've got to protect the man beside you. You understand? He couldn't lift his spear.
Yeah, because when they was fighting, they all shielded together, and it was tight.
Right. So he couldn't do that. So he said, Ephialtes, he said, what you can do is you can take care of the injured and bring the food. And he said, go round. He wanted to be a warrior, isn't it? But that's where it's going to be. Do that, okay?
Isaiah chapter 9 verse 5, for every battle of the warrior is just confused noise.
Right, ping, ching, ping, screaming and weapons clashing. That's confused noise.
The garments rolled in blood.
Right, because when a man chop a man, blood, innit, you see? Yeah, man chop a man's arm off. Yeah? Blood. Yeah? Garments rolling in blood, yeah?
That's why, like with Jake as well today, it's like you got this term with the black and white man, and Jake used terms like splashing someone, because that's the rolled in blood. If you splash a person, it doesn't mean actually splash, but obviously it's the blood splash when you punch them. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
Yeah, grab it. Yeah, it's talking about World War III, because we're in the midst of it. Yeah, this is what's going to happen. World War III. Yeah? We're in the midst of World War III, and this is, down there after. This is what's going to happen. Yeah? This is what the Lord's talking about. And this is what people don't realise we're in the midst of. We've been waiting for this for a very long time. Yeah, before all that, we had a little Bosnian war and all that, and Russia wasn't even involved in, little UN peacekeeping, yeah. But now we're in the midst of Russia being one of the main players in this war. Because why? It's white on white crime now. They're fighting Ukraine, yeah, and they're gonna butt heads with America and the NATO, the European Union, right? So this is what he's talking about. Garments rolled in blood, yeah? This is the war we're heading for. You know?
Garments rolled in blood, but this shall be the burning and fuel of fire.
Right, but he just showed you. This next war is going to be the burning fuel of fire. Nuclear weapons are going to be used. Intercontinental ballistic missiles. The Bible talks about...
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 54 verse 16.
Right.
You see, behold, I've created a smith that blows the coals in the fire.
Right, when he says he's created the smith, it's a blacksmith. He's the one who built makes armor and brings weaponry. So the modern day smith is the scientist. So the Lord has put it in their minds, in their lab. Yeah? You know?
And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work.
Right. Bringing forth an instrument for his work. This is the instrument what the Lord has brought forth for his work. White people thought they brought it to scare people, but this is going to be their downfall. Yeah, they brought this because they think they can threaten people. Yeah, but everyone's got the big stick now. Yeah, so now they have to negotiate. Right? Read.
And I've created the waster to destroy.
And what's the waster? The nuclear missile, the intercontinental ballistic missile. This wastes. This burns at 1,000,000 degrees. So this is what the Lord has put in the spirit. Back in the day, when he burnt Sodom and Gomorrah, he used the elements, but he made the white man bring nuclear weapons. He's going to destroy his own self. He's going to fall on his own sword. So this is what we're in the midst of. Yeah, China's, like you said, China's just cut off America now. So we're building up to the time where they're going to clash. Nuclear weapons are going to be used.
This is Zechariah chapter 13. It's like 14 verse 12.
Right.
And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord Yahweh will smite all the people that fought against Jerusalem.
Right, so it's mainly, why all this is happening is because they put us in slavery, the blacks, Hispanics and Native Indians. We are the children of Israel. This is why all these things is happening on the earth now. Because we're in the latter part, the end part of the we're in the latter part of the Edomite kingdom. Right? So this is what's happening. Read on.
So it says, their flesh shall consume away, and they stand upon their feet.
Right, and what's gonna make them cook their flesh consume away? This nuclear weapon's gonna blow up. This is what's gonna make their flesh consume.
It says, their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes.
Right, that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna consume in their holes. Go on, read on.
And their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. And in that day it shall come to pass,
Right?
the great tumult of the power of the Lord shall be among them, and they shall lay hold every one of them from the hand of his neighbour, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbour.
Right, so this is what's coming. This is what the Lord is bringing because of slavery. Because of what the white man did. He thought he got away with it, you see. He thought he could build this society and call us the wetbacks and bow and arrows and niggers and lazy. But we're far from lazy. Without us, the white man wouldn't have his world. He wouldn't have cars, he wouldn't have mobile phones. They're all built by black people, so-called, yeah? They were built by us. And what it is, he's taken all the credit. This devil, this red devil. That's why he's going to be going to perdition. Perdition means destruction, right? This is why we're in the latter times. Because they fought against Jerusalem, that's what it said in it. There was a fought against Jerusalem. Right, Jerusalem are the Israelites. Right? Read on.
And Judah also shall fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together, gold and silver and apparel in great abundance. And so shall be the plague of the horse, of the mule, of the camel, and of the ass, and all the beasts that shall be in these tents, and this plague.
Right, so the plagues is coming. This is one of the plagues. Get Malachi 4 and 1. Right, so these are the plagues that's coming. There's not only a plague, it's not only a disease. Plagues in the Bible is missiles. Even got a plague of the mind. Madness. Yeah? The philosophies gives you a plague of the mind. But this is the plague was coming. This is the physical plague because we got monkeypox, H1, was it COVID-19? So these are the plagues was coming. Yeah?
Malachi chapter 4 verse 1.
Right?
So behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven.
Right, so the day come that shall burn, we're heading to it. This day is coming, it's going to burn as an oven. Right? Read on.
The day cometh that shall burn as an oven,
Right.
and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble.
Right, and all the proud and all that do wickedly. Who is the wicked? Get me Malachi 1 and start from 3.
The book of Malachi chapter 1 verse 3.
It says the wicked. But our people do wicked, so because people will say, well, you black people are wicked, we kill each other. But who do we learn that from? We learn it from the white man. Because he's the murderer of the earth, he's a natural killer. Cain killed Abel, and the white people's father is Cain, basically. And our father is Abel, the noble. You know?
Malachi 1 verse 3.
Right. Right, this is the wicked. We're going to find out who the wicked is. Start from 1.
Malachi chapter 1 verse 1.
Yeah?
The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi.
So he's a burden. This is what Malachi was talking about, his burdens.
Verse 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord Yahweh.
Yes, because the Lord loves the Israelites. We think that God doesn't hate us because he put us under white man, will destroy us to this very day. But he loves us. Just imagine what he's doing to us. He's going to do to these white people tenfold. He tells you that. He put us in slavery under them, so they're going to get tenfold. We're going to treat them worse than what they treated us. Read on.
That's it. Love Jesus the Lord. What we say, wherever we love them.
And that's what we say. Love us. Why don't you the white people? Why don't they still destroying us? Because this prophecy said it's our fault anyway, so this is our punishment. If we hearken, Deuteronomy 28, 15, from 1 really, if we would have listened, we would have been above all these nations. But we didn't listen. So we're at the bottom now under the white man. And he's ruling over us, teaching us all these wicked ways. Homosexuality, child bestiality, LGBTQZ. This is his spirit. But his spirit is being put on our people. Because what did he say? As in Rome, do as a Roman. No, we're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to do what God said to do, the Bible. The white man don't believe in God. He believes he's God. Right? But he's the devil the Bible speaks of. It shows you that the fruit don't fall far from the tree. You can see the fruits of his labours. That's why the world is all jacked up now. Yeah? Because his vibration is on the earth. You know?
So see, yet we say, wherein has thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother?
Right, so these are the two main characters. You're always going to find two main characters. When you look at the word God, it goes back to the word theos. Theos means like director. Yeah? The Most High is the director. That's where you get theatre from. Yeah? And he's director, and this is his movie. So he's got two main characters. Just look at a movie, they've got the two main characters, the bad guy, the good guy. Yeah, the villain and the hero. And the villain is the so-called white man, and the heroes are going to be Jake, because the first shall be the last, and the last shall be first. We're heading towards that now. They call it the changing of the guard. Yeah? Because what do? They've guarded the earth. It tells you the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. So we're establishing the wicked are the Edomites. Yeah? They call themselves Caucasian. Caucasian means cave dwellers, or dwellers of the Caucasus Mountains. That's why they call themselves Caucasian. That's why they build with concrete, because it reminds them of the caves of Mount Seir and the other place there, Caucasus Mountains.
Mount Seir is the place.
It's their main.
Because you can see the football there.
Yeah, and that was stolen. They even stole that from the Horites. The Horites, they stole that from them.
What's the those people that was there before? Who's the giant?
Before who?
Before the Israelites came into Europe.
Oh, Javan.
There was Japhites in there. I can't remember the.
Oh, you talk about the Minoans and the Etruscans.
Yeah, Etruscans. Yeah. They took their land, took over their.
Yeah, that's why he stole. Alexander stole that word Greek.
Yeah.
I mean, from them. So this man is just a natural fit. Everything, nothing belongs to him really, except Mount Seir did belong to him. But then it didn't, because he stole that, you know what I mean? So, remember it tells you he's a vagabond, didn't it? A vagabond is someone who wanders.
Yeah, and what's the word called? A fugitive.
Yeah, a fugitive. Yeah, because what is a fugitive from? Because he's running from justice.
Yeah, they got to keep changing their identity so that they can keep moving. That's why they keep. Like, remember that movie with what's it called? The guy that did Indiana Jones.
Oh, Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford, and he was in that movie called Fugitive.
Yeah,
he was in the mirror, and he was cutting his shaving his, and his beard and that. That's Eden, right? Yeah. And he was in the what is it called?
He was running from justice, even though he didn't kill his wife. Yeah. But they said that he killed his wife. But he was running because he was scared because he was going to get put in prison for something he didn't do.
Yeah, but exactly.
This man is going to get something he did do, slavery. How do you feel about slavery, man? How do you feel about it, sir?
Not very fucking good.
Guilty, yeah? So what should be the punishment? What do you reckon? Because there has to be a punishment. What do you think?
A long time in jail.
A long time in jail. So what about us? Was we in jail or what did we do? No, but what did we do? Jail. Was we in jail or was we in slavery? We was in slavery, innit? So, an eye for an eye. Slavery's coming for you guys. The same way you enslaved us. And your children are going to be separated from you. Same way you separated our children. That's just
the women showing. She was more willing to jump ship.
Yeah,
you know
she said. What did she say?
She's like guilty.
Yeah,
straight away.
Guilty. Yeah. Because now they can see the effects of it. Before she was just more past and rolled her eyes.
He was more trying to hold his nuts, but she grabbed him and said guilty. Man.
Yeah, before they would have known, but now because they see the punishments and on the horizon. So now they're looking for mercy, you know? And what did the Lord say about that?
Oh, don't try to seek to please the poor, innit?
And the other one, he says he's going to show no mercy. The man that seeks mercy, he's going to show them no mercy.
Yeah,
Because
them
why?
don't trust you, just
Yeah,
don't trust
because
you.
they didn't show no mercy to us. Not even a baby they showed mercy to. They fed it as alligator bait. And the old people, they just treated them as they were young. They made them work till they died. Yeah, they made them work till they died. So there is a punishment for slavery. Yeah? And we're coming to the end of the white man's world now. You can see it. We've got white on white crime. That's how we know when we've got white on white crime. Because it's the end of the so-called European rulership. And everybody was tied to him. He's going to fall with him. That's how it works. Yeah?
I can't wait to have a drink. That's
So
right.
we know. Yeah, what else you got there?
It's so good.
Says here, Malachi chapter 1 verse 4,
Right.
whereas Edom saith, we're impoverished.
So it's mentioned a specific name, Edom. Edom says we are impoverished because the two main players are the Edomites. The firstborn was the Edomites because we are the last two nations, the Israelites and the Edomites are the last two nations on the earth. The last two are the first, if you see what I mean. Because all the other nations here, ruling all over the planet, but the last two nations are the ones that are going to fight for the rulership, for the kingdom forever and ever. The white man's kingdom is finished, it's coming to an end. Look at their kingdom, rubbish everywhere. So it's a pit, it's a shithole. Yeah, it's a shithole, really. Yeah?
In our kingdom, it's God is really healing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're supposed to walk on the ground and feel a certain way. You know what I'm saying?
Certain metals and certain other vibration. The
Even
ground
when
is a
you walk
vibration.
in the grass barefoot, you feel,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
a certain way.
And it keeps you healthy because it's like everything is a vibration, it's spiritual. But because of the white man's here, he's made it conducive to his heavy needs. You know what I mean? He's concrete.
He's hollow bones.
No, his bones are solid. He's not hollow about Esau's bones, bro. Them big knees and that, you know what I mean? But then when you talk about hollow bone, they're swimming. That's why they can float, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But they got heavy knees. The joints is very, you know what I mean? Solid joints, you know?
But they snap against Jacobs.
Yeah. It's just that their skin is very tender. No, it's tender because you can thump them and the blood just comes straight away. Thump Jake, it take a while for it to split because our skin is different. It's got the melanin in it. That's what it is, you know. But that's why another thing, one of these, it shows that he's a regressive. His actual biological makeup is regressive, you know. Blonde hair, blue eyes, all that is regressive traits.
Slap it either way. It says here, whereas we are impoverished, but we shall return and build the desolate places.
Right, and that's pride. That's another characteristic of an Edomite. He's very proud. He says, we will return and build the desolate places. Right? Because it tells you that this man is, the Bible says that the pride of thy heart in Obadiah has deceived him. Where he thinks that he's ruled, and he's got all these people thinking that they were the Egyptians, the Babylonians. Do you know who the Babylonians was, man? Excuse me, man. Huh? Am I too black for you?
Yes, you are.
That would have been, I would have said fair enough. At least you're honest. You know what I mean? Because a lot of them, they just, you know, pretend that, yeah. We talk about Theos theatre, a lot of them are actors and actresses. They pretend to be your friend, they pretend to be righteous, but they're wicked.
That's what Martin Luther King was killed for, saying about the problem. You're the problem, and the ones that act like they're not the people who are actually.
He was set up anyway as well.
Yeah.
He was in England having sex with boys.
Yeah.
So he was set up anyway. He was one of the big
He was a
time
homosexual.
Yeah. So I'll take anything he says with a pinch of salt. Even though he said I've seen to the mountaintop and I've seen the promised land. You know what I mean?
No, that's what he said when he was in prison.
Yeah, the one of his speeches was one of them. They were in the Jewish language. He was juiced in. Yeah? He was part of the system, as you say. The pit. The system goes back to the pit. So he was part of the snare of our people.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down.
Right, and that's what's happening. The white man said that he would return and build the desolate places. And he did. He done that during the Renaissance. There's many a time the white man has fell and then come back. But this is his last. He's 3 strikes and he's out. This is his 3rd crack at it. Try and get it right, but he will never get it right because the planet wasn't made for his sake. Yeah? Look at them reprobates. Do you know what I mean? Just imagine we had to be under these people forever. We'd be walking around in fucking big boots and our hair all blonde up and looking like these things. I mean, because they're the spirit in them.
And that's who's ruling.
Yeah, the spirit was in them is just not right. The Lord never put something like a righteous spirit in them. They needed that. You know when someone makes something and the last part is the part what makes the whole thing tick? You know what I mean?
Like that season, especially.
They're like things, like iron mine. You make iron suit and you put that tin on the suit, that tin that makes the suit. Blew up.
Yeah, that's a spirit for us, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
got
he
that,
put it, yeah.
that righteous spirit.
The Lord didn't put that in him.
Yeah, no.
He made one vessel for honor and another one. You know, he said made a beautiful vase and he made a shitter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the white man is the shitter. We are that beautiful vase. You know what I mean? But he punishes, you know? And it keeps all clean. And then you just do that little shit and then you flush it and just look at that shit disappear down that hole, bro. You know what I mean? That's the Edomites. But he's been put in a level now to think that he's somebody. Yeah? There's that woman with her dogs. Come over one time. Remember? You done?
Yes, yeah. And they shall call them the border of wickedness,
Right.
and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
Right, so it says they call them the border of wickedness. So it means that that's where wickedness rests. On the white man. The Edomites. That's not calling the white man, he's calling the Edomites. That's his name, the red man. The one that calls himself white. Or European. Or French or English. Yeah? This is his name, his real name, his biblical name is an Edomite. And he's been trying to get away from that name from day one. Because he knows what's symbolic about it. He's the only nation that ain't been promised any mercy from God. He's like we was talking about, he's the fugitive and the vagabond. Where justice is gonna have to be executed on him. Yeah, served, executed on him. Yeah? And that's what he's running from now. He tries everything in his powers to keep the Israelites docile. Because when we find out who we are, this is why the vibration now, everything's happening on the earth. War, famine, pestilence, because of slavery. They're going to have to pay for that now. Yeah?
It says here, Isaiah chapter 52 verse 1. Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion, put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem. the
And
holy
that's
city.
this truth. Not just we got on our garment, but it's not talking about that. It's putting on the garment is the truth. Because what it says that the shield is like a shield. It reserves you from the darts of Satan. Yeah. Because if you ain't got this truth, you're like a rudderless ship. You're susceptible to fall into any philosophies, any basically any wickedness, man. You'll be easily beguiled by this world. So the armor, putting on the armor, is putting on the garment is like putting on the armor of God. There was a movie called Armor of God. Come through movie.
It says here, awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion.
Right, and awake. Because our people are in a sleep. The blacks, Hispanics are in a deep sleep. So he says, awake, awake. And now is he awake you? Through the Spirit, through teachers. Because how did we get awoken? We saw it either on the internet or we saw people preaching. And we said, wow, that sounds something conducive to my spirit. So we wanted to search it out because the Lord has awoken us. But a lot of our people are in a deep sleep. Yeah? A lot of these reprobates are about the place. That's the people.
That's what's ruling over.
Yeah, I know. They came, like I said, the spirit in them is just cooking. Who wants to walk around? What it is that goth thing. That goth thing goes back to the black people anyway. You know what I mean? That's why they dress in black. Because the goths are the so-called black men. It's a black woman at one time. And the Vandals.
Yeah.
Yeah? So that goes back to the Negroes. Everything goes back to the blacks anyway. We are the foundation of society. Without us, society wouldn't be able to run. Yeah? It goes back to modern day Egypt, ancient Egypt and modern day Egypt. Everything was built off of the Israelites, us, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We are the fruit. We are the salt of the earth, like the Lord said.
Put on that beautiful the holy city.
The holy city. So we are the holy people. We are holy means to be severed, to cut off, to be separate. We're supposed to be separate. That's why when we do things, where we do things above everybody else, we're a higher level. And right now we're in a lower state. Just imagine when we get back our power, how high we're going to be, how illuminated.
Says here, the holy city, for henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean.
Right, so there's going to be no more heathens. There's going to come a time where the heathens won't be even around us, even about us, only if we want them to be. Because they're going to have to do their work for us, laborious work. They're going to have to slave for us. So we're going to have to give them directions. But we're going to be the hegemons. We're going to be the highest.
I think the choice is, well, you can if you want, but we will have taskmasters in a minute, so we will be amongst the heathen because they're going to be our
Because
taskmasters.
we've got to tell them,
But they won't be able to come into our cities and
No, they won't be able to come
like
into
how they can just walk up and look into your eyes and that. It's not going to happen. Like, they won't be able to look you in your face. Like, see how, because obviously the Most High is going to bring us closer to His Son. So that wisdom and that grace, like you can't really even the prophets, they bow down to the angels just because of that righteous. You know what I'm saying? They felt
The aura.
yeah. And they said, why do you worship
Yeah, I'm your
us?
brother.
Yeah.
I'm your brother. No.
But it's just the fact that purity, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because they can see the actual power glowing.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to be. We're going to be glowing. We're going to have so much power in us. Not like the white man's power. It's going to be like it's going to be like a glow. We're going to have an aura. Because remember, we're going to have new bodies. That's what we need. Because we're in this chains of darkness, man. Where we know. We get toothache and all that, man. We're not going to have that.
Are you with Grandma
I mean,
again?
we're going to go back to the high spirit.
Isn't he a lucky
We're going to
boy
high
being
spirit.
with Grandma
So
again?
here,
Or you nanny? I'll
shake
nanny.
thyself from the dust. Arise and sit down in Jerusalem.
Right, shake yourself from the dust. Confusion. Because right now, you know when they're fighting, someone pick up dust and fight in your face, you're confused. And after you lose the fight after that, because you can't see that. So the Lord said, shake the dust. Shake that confusion. The witnesses have come against them, declare their sin, Sodom and their hiding. Right, you know?
Says here, loose thyself from the bounds of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion.
Right, so the bounds of our neck. Same thing, slavery. When you put a chain around, when they put a chain around